Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here. One of the things I feel as a returning player coming into this game is I do get a bit anxious, especially in new endgame content. I need to find and test my teams out again all over again, and it can take quite a lot of time to remember the perfect combinations, or you have to click into endgame and look at teams one by one. What if there was a way that could speed everything up for me? One button and everything populates. That is what I really wanted, so I dedicated my time to build this resource for myself, but I think that some of you might find this very valuable as well. So it's in the EODdb website over here under My Roster. Right now, this team just snapshots. It helps you basically, you put in your roster, you click this button, analyze your roster. We talked about a lot of these other features in a previous video already on the channel, where we talks about future planning, account review kind of state, but now I want to use this thing and actually get my stellar jades now, right? I need it instantly. And that's what I added in this, which is a really, really powerful tool. So based on this entire lineup over here that I have, my roster, your account might be totally different from mine. You can click, you can X off, you can show characters and input it as you like. You can just click on them and slowly add in or not. But once you do that and you click analyze, you will have a proposed lineup automatically populating based on what our community is clearing. Currently, we have 100 plus of each of the entries based on real data and actual people. You can see here that you can ask for these kind of character compositions that you can approach as well, and are very, very willing to help. So for the proposed lineups this cycle, once you click the button, you can see there's a simulate here. I will talk about it in a little bit because that's the second level. At a base level here, just taking the account I have and it snapshots straight away. Your recommendation is going to be totally different from mine because the model assumes that you like to field more expensive characters. Let's say E0 Castorice was actually an option here. The model prompts and proposes a team for your expensive character. I assume, or the model assumes, that your more expensive characters are your favorite ones. So it accounts for a bit of that special nuance for your sake as well, because every account is different, right? You might have certain characters at E2, you might have everything at E0 and stuff like that. So favorite characters do get a little bit of a premium, but not only that, I'll explain in a little bit. At the same time, it tells me in gray over here, you can see means I have the exact characters that I have. So based on the 3 endgame content that I have and the data that is available, I can pretty much right now field Pure Fiction, Memory of Chaos 2 teams and pretty much get 3 stars, max or max rewards for this cycle according to what the pros are or the experienced players are doing, getting starward. So these criteria to be even here, appearing here, is the community clear had to be a starward clear. So you can see it scales together with my account, so it doesn't show me things that I do not have. If you have higher eidolons here, which is on the left side over here, you can see, let me just zoom in, I know it's a little bit small, apologies for that. Let's zoom in a bit more. You can see here, Memory of Chaos has certain ones with an asterisk over here, closer at higher eidolons. What this basically means is that you might need a little bit more eidolons for the exact composition that you have. You have the characters, but it might prompt you for a bit more vertical investments for these characters that you already have. So if you see everything like all asterisk red, it kind of tells you that you have the characters, but you might want to consider getting a bit more vertical investment to match up with what the community is having so far. So that is what this red thing tells. On the other hand, something like this Pure Fiction over here, you can see I pretty much have the DPSs and the core units already. The only one that is deviating from what the community is clearing with is Tribi. So Tribi at E1 is a more supportive character, so technically if you had a little bit better relics and stuff, you might be able to match these teams' standard, or maybe you have signature hones here and there, you probably will be able to make this run. So that kind of tells you, doesn't mean it's an asterisk, you can't run it. You look at it, you can see it's E1, you don't have E1, you might be able to clear with it still. So it at least helps you form a baseline understanding of what to do. Apocalyptic Shadow is an example of a slightly older cycle. I only just literally started this project last week for you guys, so we are waiting for the next cycle which resets and we have a lot more data and the visuals improve. But basically this is an example of something that I have no characters of at all because I recently only got back into the game. I put Himiko, so for you guys in a similar situation, you'll see something like this. it doesn't tell you any team that you can use. You pretty much have to pull Eidolons to get, which is not very helpful, right? So along with the previous video, and of course there's Knight, which it gives no Stellar Jades, but it also proposes for Knight in check for any of you who are interested in content that is like super endgame. But the tool also proposes next units to consider, which we talked about in our previous video. It's out of the scope of this video because this is like currently maximizing for you. But a lot of you were asking for vertical versus horizontal investment. Which one is like thematically better for your account? So for this, let me just zoom out because it's a lot nicer to see everything all at once. If I zoom out and you press this simulate button, this section, this simulate button basically talks to the same model instantaneously. What the model is proposing you to consider next. You can see why it's telling you to propose this units next, because a lot of people are asking me, oh, EOD, the model seems really very good, it's very, very helpful, but it's like you don't really understand it. So by clicking this button, you can kind of see why they recommend you certain units. So for my case, this is, of course, I'm not going to go in depth with this. We touched on it in a previous video. I expanded on it, and this video is really meant for team building. So it recommends me these 5 units, and you can see more or less why. Once I press this simulate button, and just pay attention on the screen here, the important part is the transition. This state is what I have right now, and hypothetically, if I acted on the recommendations, this is what the roster would look like. And these are almost every single one clears from the community with the characters alone. So no additional Eidolons with the exception of Knight 2, which doesn't give Stellar Jades, but all the other content here, I just click one button and straight away it shows why exactly the tool might be proposing something like this, and who you can consider. So I look at the first row, for example, the ones that are added in, you can see slightly dimmed and in greenish color is like Morton X Blade, you have Dahlia here, and having these 2 units, I can immediately technically fail them and pretty much starward clear with Memory of Chaos. So in my mental model, I will know maybe I want to prioritize Morton X Blade or do more research about Morton X Blade or Dahlia, and then you can go into the endgame usage section. You can click into like Dahlia, you can see what teams people are playing her with to evaluate how useful that character is. So this is a super useful resource as well to give you a huge understanding, like breakdown of your account and what is useful for you right now. I want to help you out right now and get your Stellar Jades as much as you can. These are of course modeled on the best teams, so if you have the best teams to clear the hardest content already, everything else below is a lot more easier, and it might just be a tweak here and there of small team compositions, but it does tell you the framework that you can instantly use. So everything you can see here, all these 9 Stellar Jade giving teams, if you just follow, pretty much it would allow you to get everything of all the Stellar Jades possible. Knight is a bit harder because one, not many people can clear it, and for those of you who recognize, it does require both horizontal as well as a bit of vertical investment, so hybrid of both, and that's really, really quite expensive. Hybrid meaning you pull more of different units, vertical meaning you pull more of the same unit and a bit of both diagonally to clear the hardest content, king in check and all the relative Knight stages. So that is the tool that we made for you guys. I hope that you like it. It's really very easy to do. Just populate your table, analyze, you click simulate or don't click simulate. If you have more units you didn't like not play for 1 year, it'll be more here that pops up. It helps casual players as well a lot, and people that don't have a lot of time. This tool is built for these players in mind, and if you found this video helpful and you appreciate this tool, do give me a like, comment and subscribe for more such future content. Do consider joining our Discord as well to get access to all these free tools, 100% free at all. And see you guys in the other videos we have on our channel, which talks more about these different tools. There's many things that we have here for you guys, and bye bye now.